so much for this gathering today. This is like so wonderful. And we're here to bless Scott for his 60th birthday. But we want to put a special blessing on Scott, and we're all here because we love him so much. And we ask you put a special blessing on him and give him continued joy and happiness this coming year. Scott is an amazing person, and he just shows great love to his whole family, and we all love him very much. Thank you for the family being here today and our that's here. Thank you for this food, and we just can't thank you enough. Amen.
Amen. Hey.
I'm proud of you.
Me too.
All right.
All right, everybody. Mom,
Whoever
go
has
to
that
eat.
food, please help yourself.
That's good.
Thing is, we had so much imagination
Yeah.
growing up, and I think that that's actually a healthy thing. And growing up in the country was really a neat experience, actually, because you learned how to be by yourself. And I remember, because we didn't have a lot of money and a lot of things to play with, we cut up a Sears catalog. You probably never heard of it. It was a catalog, and there were certain sections that was green. The index was green. So we cut that up and used it for money. And so we my brother and I, we would pretend things, and we had this play money for the Sears and Roebuck catalog. But my mother had the baby, with my baby sister Irene, and Irene was 8 years younger than me. And so I helped take care of her. My mother went to work at a very young age, and so I helped raise her. And she would call me mommy. I mean, she really thought it was her other mother.
Yeah.
Making dinner and taking care of my sister. So I didn't play a lot with other kids at that time. But I look back now, and I think I learned responsibility at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I think at getting older, I've always tried to be a really responsible person. I think it just came naturally to me. Maybe back then people didn't physically they didn't really say I love you as much as people do now. And so maybe there was some rub off of that maybe what I wanted or whatever. I mean, my mom was a wonderful woman. She really, really was, and she worked really hard. But I like that God has given me the ability to hopefully care for other people because I want to.
Yeah.
And I think that when you treat people a certain way, it comes back to you. You don't have to ask for it. Well, because I had a lot of responsibility at home.
Yeah.
But when I went to high school, and we lived in the quotes country, and I went to the high school where a lot of people they said, "Oh, you're never going to do anything. You'll never win anything." And I might sound bragging now when I'm going to tell you this, but I was a cheerleader, and I was on the student council. I was a class officer for a couple years. I was a high school queen one time. I had such a wonderful time in high school, a wonderful experience. I had lots of friends. And so that, again, added to what I did in growing up, because I had these wonderful things that happened to me. And I always valued that. And I entered a couple writing contests that I won, but the one I really liked the most was a contest that I entered. It was sponsored by CBS, which was Channel 10, and the contest was running through the Courier Post newspaper. And so I entered this contest, why I would like to be a CBS reporter. Long story short, I won. And so I won. I represented New Jersey as a CBS reporter. And it was a contest. I had never been on a plane, and we were flown to New York City. And so every day for 7 or 8 days, I had my own byline in the Courier Post. And so then after New York, they flew us to Hollywood, and they had a red carpet getting out of the plane, and it was like fantastic. I was the youngest person that won in the contest.
How old were you?
I was 21. So that was a wonderful thing. Maybe mine didn't involve having a lot of money, but it involved a lot of wonderful experiences.
Yeah.
And that is part of your maturity. That's a part of your character. And so I felt I've had such a wonderful doing a lot of different things. I have 3 children, and that I love very much. And I think even the older that you get, the more valuable they come, and you realize how deep they are within your heart. And then they also have their families, and so now I have these wonderful grandchildren, and I'm a great grandmother to 3 children. And so family to me is the most important thing. I would rather be with my family than anybody else. And sharing these times that we get together with my grandkids, and it's just so important, and it becomes more valuable the older that you get. My faith is very strong, and I believe that this is what God would want everybody to do, is to forgive people for a lot of the little things, and to tell people you love them. You know, I always tell you I love you. You know? And you know what? I'm going to be 84 in a week or so, and I love my age. I like where I am. It's okay. I'm very happy with it. So I value my childhood that I had, even though it might have been difficult at times, but it's just what God has put into my life. I'm so grateful.
So you are.
And I'm grateful for you doing this interview.
I will give you a hug. Is that okay?
Oh,
Let me know.
I love you.
Love you too.
Oh. Make me cry. Make me cry. I hope it wasn't boring for you
No,
guys.